Bowman, and I own an online health food store called Health Food Emporium, and I'm a senior vice president for Beyond Organic. And I wanted to talk to you today about gallbladder. I really don't like being on the camera, so you don't see very much of me on the internet, but this is really, really important. About 5% of people that have their gallbladder out have trouble digesting afterwards. I'm one of those people. People that have this problem, it's just devastating. For me, when I eat something that is like beef or dairy or fatty or oil, I just get incredibly sick, and I end up with horrible cramps and diarrhea, and if I'm in public, it's just the worst. And people come to me all the time with Health Food Emporium, and they say, is this all in my head? My doctor says it shouldn't have happened. What do I do? It's not all in your head. It's something that happens to a percentage of people that have their gallbladder out. The reason is that the gallbladder holds the bile that comes from the liver. And when you eat something that's hard to digest, the gallbladder will release the bile into your digestive system, where it starts to break apart the molecules in different things that you eat. So, like beef. Beef is actually very hard to break apart as opposed to something like goat meat. So a beef molecule is much harder to break apart, and you need better enzymes and probably more gall to break that apart. I'm not an expert on how this works, but I do know that goat is easier to break apart, and so it is easier to digest. It's real simple. People that have had their gallbladder out can't do that. Many times your body will compensate, but some of us never do. My gallbladder came out 15 years ago. So I wanted to tell you my story and the solutions I've found. First of all, about 10 years ago, I was in a restaurant having lunch after church, and I just had a salad because I knew that if I ate something other than just something real basic, that I was going to be sick. So I had a salad with no salad dressing, and I got sick anyway. And I motioned to my husband and said, we've got to go. I'm sick. And my friend that I was having lunch with tore a check out of her purse, and on the back of the check, she wrote 3 words and said, "Stop at the health food store and get this." First of all, what health food store is going to be open on a Sunday? And secondly, I didn't have time. I've got like 15 minutes, and then it's going to get real embarrassing. So we started to rush home. And on the way, there was a health food store with the front door actually standing open. My husband stopped and ran in with the check, handed the check to the gal, and said, "I need this." And he came back with 3 bottles, put them in my lap, and started the cart. I opened each bottle and took a pill out of each bottle. By the time I got home, which was less than 10 minutes, I wasn't sick. My life started to change that day. The 3 things that were on that list were Perfect Food by Garden of Life, Primal Defense by Garden of Life, and Omegazyme by Garden of Life. The reason that it worked is Primal Defense is the probiotics that live in your intestines. So this is the biotics that live in your system that help you to break things apart in the intestinal system. Omegazyme, and I'm sorry, I don't have a bottle of Omegazyme to show you, but it looks a lot like Primal Defense, is the enzymes that live in your stomach, and when you digest, when you eat something and you go to digest it, the enzymes break it apart. And those of us that have problems with having enough enzymes and then have our gallbladder out just have a mess. So the reason it worked is that the enzymes in the primal defense broke it apart. The perfect food actually had nothing to do with it. So I started to research, and we ended up opening Health Food Emporium. There's a whole nother story there. But we started to research how to eat right, good food, organic food, and how to boost the biotics and enzymes in our stomach. And that's step number one. If you're having the problem that I have, I very strongly suggest that you get a really, really good probiotic. It doesn't necessarily have to be Primal Defense, but Primal Defense is a really, really good one. And if you don't have another place to start, I strongly suggest that you start with Primal Defense. The other thing is you need a very, very good enzyme. And Garden of Life has more than one. They have Omegazyme, and they also have the raw enzymes, which are targeted for men or for women. Also, Megafood has a very good enzyme called High Active Enzyme. There are good enzymes out there. They need to be broad spectrum, and they need to be strong, and you take them with your meals, and it will help to turn your life around. The other thing is you have to watch what you eat. People that have this problem cannot just eat anything. I can't eat beef or anything out of a cow. I can't eat broth, beef broth, or cheese or milk. I can't eat pork or beans, except for a couple. Lentils I do okay with, and garbanzo beans. I can't eat most oils. I can't do corn oil or most oils that you would get at a restaurant. So you have to start learning what works for your body and what doesn't. The other thing that changed my life, I used to drink goat's milk kefir. I can do goat and lamb. And so I can do goat's milk products usually, and I was drinking goat's milk kefir. The brand that I used changed, and they started being available nationwide instead of just in a really small area. So they changed something in what they were doing, maybe to preserve the product a little bit. And I don't know, but it started to make me sick, just like cow's milk. And I was really frustrated. And Jordan Rubin, who owned Garden of Life, started his new business, Beyond Organic, and I was invited to be a part of that business. And the first product showed up, and I had been sick for months, and because I'm stubborn and I wanted to eat some dairy products, so I was eating a little bit of goat's milk kefir every day, or a little bit of goat's milk cheese. And my husband loves to cook for me, and he was cooking for me that day and trying to get something that would work for me into my system. And the box came from Beyond Organic, and these were new products. We hadn't tried them before, and I opened up a bottle of Amasi. This is one of the new products by Jordan Rubin from Beyond Organic. I opened up a bottle and I just took a drink, and my husband went, "What are you thinking? You're not ever going to be able, you'd be sick the rest of the night. Why am I even bothering to cook for you?" And in about 10 minutes, my stomach stopped hurting. There was something in Amasi I needed. This is from cows, and it is thick and yummy. It's like a milkshake, and I love it, and I can drink it. I can have all the Amasi I want. It's wonderful. Oh, it's so good. So there's something different going on here. What is it? Well, I started looking into it and listening to what Jordan had to say. And he is raising his cattle without A1 casein genetics. There was a genetic mutation in the Western breeds of cattle many years ago, and it produced A1 casein, which is a protein, instead of A2 casein. A1 casein, when it gets into a human digestive tract, releases an opiate that then makes it very hard for us to digest, and they're now linking it with crazy things like autism and diabetes and cancer. So the cows that Jordan is raising, he has DNA tested not to have A1 casein genetics. Well, that could be it, because goat's milk also doesn't have A1 casein. The other thing that Jordan is doing is that his cows are completely and totally raised on pasture. There is no grain, there's no antibiotics, there's no pesticides, there's no herbicides, there's no hormones. Turns out I can eat the beef and the cheese. I can have all the cheese I want. I can have a grilled cheese sandwich. This is the first time in 15 years that I've been able to eat dairy products. So the two things that I would tell you if you have had your gallbladder out, you're having trouble digesting, three things. Get a good probiotic and a good enzyme. Take them every day for the rest of your life. Change the way you eat. Don't eat it if it makes you sick. Pay attention. The other thing is find Beyond Organic products. You can buy them online, and they're different. You can eat the beef. You can eat the cheese. You can drink the amasi. Beyond Organic and Garden of Life probiotics and enzymes have changed my life. I think they'll change yours too.